to push it. Well, it goes down instead of you.
I know. I gotta hold that there, and I keep forgetting how to do that.
with great virtue, out of compassion, for the sake of this assembly and all living beings, please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach us how to be suffering, attainless, and birth and death, and quickly realize non-birth. Not Vietnamese, right? So we skip the Vietnamese. No Vietnamese at all. The French got here, so it doesn't count. Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one.
Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one.
Namo Sananto Suche Doye Olagari Samyo Samputosye.
Namo Sananto Suche Doye Olagari Samyo Samputosye.
Namo Tathagata Toya Yara Ara Are Tami Tambo Datwa.
Namo Tathagata Toya Yara
The unsurpassed, deep, profound, subtle, wonderful Dharma in 1,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I can receive and hold it within my sight and hearing, I vow to fathom thus someone's true and actual meaning. O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master YongHua, or Guru Advisors, Amitabha. How do you feel, text? You feel regular. What's going on?
What do you mean?
Regular and all right.
What do you mean? What do I mean?
What do you mean?
Attendance.
You need to drop out.
You trying to get rid of me already?
Yeah.
But,
How do you feel?
I went for an eye test, and of course I just have one eye, but my eyesight in the one eye went from 20/25 to 20/20. I was astonished.
What?
Yeah.
Say what?
Wow.
2020?
Yes.
That's faith.
So I can see a lot better now.
Wow, that's incredible. Yeah,
I should say.
not bad. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's great. You feel good though?
Yeah, I feel pretty good.
You feel better?
Well, I think I've stirred up some resistance somehow. I've stirred up some trouble. Well, I got bit by a dog. I got, some other things happened to me and stuff. I think I've stirred up some. I know what somebody was saying this year. I have a mantra 10 times a day.
10 times a day?
At least, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
From memory, right?
Yeah. So
Hey guys, this guy can recite it from memory. You think you're a superior cultivator, think again.
Are you saying that every day?
Yeah, 10
Yeah.
times. Not bad. The thing about cultivation is not to get, is not to react.
Right.
See, you're reacting. So it's
What do you
wrong.
mean?
Huh?
How am I reacting? I said I think
you
I've
look
stirred
at
up
it
some
as
trouble.
bad or you think it is good.
I don't
you,
mind.
You just do it.
Yeah.
Just do
right.
it. It's just part of life. All those things.
Well,
Sometimes
I'm mentioning it because I noticed it,
Yeah.
but I'm not like sitting around worrying about it.
Yeah, that's good. But the thing is that you progress very quickly with a very short time span. That's not bad. It's amazing your vision improved just like that. I hope mine is like that. I don't need to wear glasses. See, you gotta tell me how you did it. Because then it's out.
I say the mantra about 200 times a day. The medicine master mantra.
200 times?
Yeah, that's not that.
You don't even bother counting the beats I'm giving you?
I count them, but I count them once to make sure I did it. Right, and then I just do it throughout the day.
How do you know it's 200?
Well, because it must be at least 200 because I do it all day long.
So how long does it take you? 5 minutes?
To do it 100 times?
Yeah.
It takes me like 20 minutes.
It's slow.
Slow? Should do it faster?
No, never mind. It's alright. Are we online? I mean, is it okay to gal or are people
Nobody calls
see
me.
who disappear?
We're talking about the medicine master mantra.
Yeah.
The 108?
It takes me about 20 minutes.
20 minutes for 108. How many seconds is that
So
per?
it takes me half an hour for
It takes me about 40 minutes.
40 minutes?
30 to 40 minutes. It all depends how much. Yeah.
Don't worry about speed. Speed is never important. When I was doing it at Long Beach Monastery, it took me about split seconds to do one. That's how fast I was.
To do one?
Think about it. Just relax. That's it. So when I was doing beats, it was going like speed of light. It was still too slow. So I stopped using beats because I want the counting is too slow. The counting slows me down. But that was because back then I was misguided. I thought I went for speed because no one else could. I was the fastest guy. Very, very fast. And that was wrong. It's not about speed, it's about concentration. After a long time I realized I began to understand it's really concentration, it's not speed. Speed is only an expedient for you to concentrate. There's never an end goal. Okay? So you can concentrate on one syllable at a time. Doesn't matter how slow, fast you go, doesn't matter. You just concentrate on it. However fast or slow it can go. Okay? So concentrate on that. Alright. So that's good. That's good. So you're getting some responses from must be the medicine master mantra, huh? You think?
It must be.
Because
What else could it be?
because you did it with the Shravana mantra before, right?
Yeah, I've been doing that longer.
Yeah. So now he suddenly picked up the medicine master mantra. See, another success story.
They love it.
Yeah,
I told you the mantra is beautiful. It's just I'm just surprised at why people don't practice it anymore. People don't. I'm amazed.
But I wouldn't want to take the chance though of just leaving everything else and just do that for the rest of my life. There's too much more.
So much more to life.
And
really.
there's so much more
And
to
the mantra.
this in my life.
Why do you bring it up?
Pardon me?
Is someone trying to talk you into giving up all the good things in life for what?
I think that's where I'm leading. I do. There's
Why?
Things I've never been. I've never been so unhappy in all my life.
Your wisdom is unfolding. You can begin to see the suffering. You understand?
No.
Well, eventually you will. It's you are at the stage right now. Okay, since there's no one online I can reveal to you. She's second stage she's first stage Okay. It may appear like you don't know what you're doing, and we confuse, most of the time.
That's
You know how big of a deal it is. Second stage is huge deal. Okay, first stage is a huge deal. For that, you begin to see the light, which others can.
It's
Okay?
not pretty.
It doesn't make sense. Because you've been confused all your life. Your priorities have been misguided. Now you begin to see it doesn't make sense at all. That's wisdom. Begin to see the truth. All this is false. We are so attached. Common people are so attached to the false. And you may say, I think I can detach from this. This is not as important as it used to be for me. Am I correct or not?
Absolutely.
Okay. So that's wisdom. You have a choice though. You see, in your work, you still have a choice. You say, well, I still can go, I can still straddle, I can see, I can go this way, I can choose to be in one side and choose to be the other side. Before you choose to be in the worldly side, that's because that's the only world you know. But that's your world. Now you have a chance to be exposed to something else. It's called the beginning of transcendental wisdom. Okay? So your attainment is huge, it's humongous. And for that you're able to begin to see the false. Until you see the false, folks, you can't let go. You can't let go at all. Because everything is so real to you. Because that's what you can see, that's what you can feel, this is what you can experience. Okay? This is how your world is constructed. That's why in Hinayana, once you reach the first stage art, it's such a huge deal. You become a sage. They don't call them a sage for nothing. So you're beginning to see, you see glimpses, and you begin to struggle. The struggle now becomes real, okay? And it's an adjustment process. It takes time, okay? So nothing to worry about. It's part of your growing pains. You begin to see that you used to be so confused. You used to be so misguided. You used to be so. And you asked me, okay, what's so great about it? The rest of them, they don't know what we're talking about. so you have to feel for them. So, oh my God, they have no clues. That's how important it is. So the time, the effort you put in so far has been worth it. You begin to see. Okay? And the way that you guys did it is just so fast. Master YongHua, I listened to his teachings. I realized that his level disciples would become second or third stage after leading a home life with him after 2 or 3 years. I thought, wow, this is so fast. This is, because these are sages. In Mahayana perspective, we look at it as pretty small, but really, to get to step on that side, the other side, is an incredible feat, folks. It takes something that you did not experience before. You know what it is? You know what it is? You know what it is, Randy? It's not anywhere in the teachings. It's not anywhere. Huh? It's not understanding.
It's more than that.
It is faith. Yes. She didn't have much. She came with a different agenda, didn't you? Okay? And that's normal. That's how all people are. You all come to me with different agendas. All of you. Okay? And just don't make a mistake of thinking you can outsmart someone who tries to learn from. You can outsmart me all the time. It doesn't matter. What matters most is your birth and death problem. And you can't outsmart them. Okay? You can outsmart death. You can outsmart impermanence. You can't outsmart your obstructions. They're not called obstructions for nothing, because you cannot outsmart them. Okay? So you did some really, really serious right things. That is, initially, even for the wrong motives. But those paid off for you. Those right moves paid off for you. If you didn't make those right moves, you would not have a chance to come back. Think about it. You didn't plan on coming back. Okay? So you have somehow the blessings came through, those seeds matured, and you came back. That's how you made the progress. Because I was giving up on it. I gave up on it. I said, this is it. That's all she could got out of this Dharma. Because that's all she came for. You got it. What else you want? Right? But I planted the seed for more than that in you. Okay? But couldn't tell you. So it's amazing how things work out. So you should be overjoyed actually. You shouldn't be so emotional. Because that's the first steps towards letting go. Because it gets better. It gets so much more better, so much interesting. Because once you can let go, and the bliss from being able to let go is incredible. Okay. By the way, you made it to second dhyana. Big deal. You came here. It's a big deal. Because most people get stuck a long time. Came here first dhyana already. With a very short time frame, you made the second dhyana, which is pretty fast. And you somehow faith is not a problem with you, which is fascinating. So it has to be from prior cultivation. because no one ever taught it, right? You just
read a
read.
lot of books.
You read. That's it.
That's right.
So what? They could. So did Randy. Yeah, he read a lot too. He read about 20 years. For 20 years.
Everything
Master
is
Trainer was books. He
Oh,
came at zero. You know that? He came at zero 2.5 years ago. Anyway, so it's interesting. Cultivation. You never know. You just keep going. Keep going and whenever those mature, they mature. You don't worry about it. You can't worry about it. Just because I spent time explaining to you about blessings and so on, and so you shouldn't be sitting there and, well, how do I get a blessing? I need more blessings. No, it's only meant for you to understand. Once you make past it, I can look back and you know how you got there because of your blessings. But you can't say, let me get that kind of blessing to make sure next time I do it, it happens again. It's false thinking. If that's the case, I wouldn't bother explaining to you. So it's amazing because this year here I was planning on transmitting this medicine master Dharma to the Vietnamese. So I was going to Bolsa, the other location, and to explain it as a sutra. And this was explained last year already here in English. So I figure as long as some Vietnamese coming, I wouldn't mind explaining again Vietnamese and elaborate a bit more than last year because they're level higher than last year. But it turns out that we may be coming to an end with the Vietnamese very soon because they're not responding. I'm not reaching them. Okay. So it's amazing that somehow you got there and you got a little bit of response from the Dharma itself, which is remarkable. So it made all of it worthwhile to us because the Dharma is meant to help someone, to help people, and actually, as long we're here, I want to ask for your opinion because I don't know. Shall we continue the sutra, or you want me to switch sutras, or you want what's your interest?
It depends on what sutra you'd be switching to.
Okay.
You'd be switching to the Vedamsaka Sutra.
Why? You want that?
Well, it's just so interesting.
Yeah.
You know, how can I tell what sutra is better than another sutra? I don't know.
Yeah.
But,
So, I mean, just so we have been calling those radio and they have been calling back and ask from what they say that maybe starting next week if they find some empty slot they will, but it's not guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
So we call several radios and we call several newspapers.
So what we do is I think we stick for a few more weeks.
Right, that's what I'm saying is maybe
Because give it some time, okay. But my point is that if we get no response, then we switch sutras or we do something else because it's because if you want to know about the sutra here, it's recorded. Okay.
mm-hmm.
How do you feel? What's your thinking? Huh?
So let's say if we switch in 1 month, then we have maybe another 2-3 months to cover the new sutra.
So we keep going. Yeah, because we can't be bound by time because we stop at the end of September. I go to my retreat and then we start again next year. Okay.
Master, I only want to say one thing about if you keep doing medicine, Master. No matter what we get, whatever you do, you expound more on everything. So if you did that all the rest till September, it still is more
Yeah,
because
it's
the
still
way you
more.
present it, you present it different every time.
Yeah, no,
That's right.
And that's the way I
That's
feel. If everybody else wants to move on, that's fine. But I just think whatever you do with it is fine.
But you haven't heard the option yet. The
I know, but
alternative.
you'll give me options, more options next year.
See,
too.
somebody suggested
What do
the
you
Flower
think?
Adornment Sutra, but I'm not going to explain it yet. It's too premature.
How about Shiragala Sutra?
No, still premature. I'm not ready. Personally, I'm not ready for that sutra yet. I need
Which
a
one?
few more years.
Sure,
Yeah, because
Shiragala Sutra.
I want to see some,
sure, and go.
do a few more things before I explain that, because it's very important sutra. I need to explain that, but I'm not ready yet.
No.
How about the Vajra?
Vajra is a good choice. Vajra is probably my choice for the next sutra. I've been preparing for that until got sidetracked by all these things. Vajra Sutra is very important because I was planning on explaining the Vajra Sutra, which explains about emptiness, which is
What's the Vajra Sutra in Chinese?
金刚
Jingan.
Jing is one of the most popular sutras in Mahayana. It's widely studied and copied by the externalists as well, because they steal those concepts from that sutra. For example, the externalist concept of emptiness is a subset of the Vajra's teaching. That's why they all come back to it and refer to it. If they want to understand, if you want to understand emptiness, you have to investigate the Vajra Sutra. So it's a very important sutra. Okay, so I was planning on explaining that after we done all these sutras. That's the next sutra. So
How long does that take for that sutra?
how long does it take? I don't know. Probably not as long as the Earth-Door Sutra, because Earth-Door Sutra we going into more details I was planning. Because it's those details are important, because it hadn't been explained yet in English. So I want to make sure what we try to do here is we try to make more Mahayana texts available to the English population. Okay. Because so far, as far as I know, only 3 people lectured Mahayana Sutras: Master YongHua, YongHua, and myself. The YongHua is not explaining the regular sutras; he's explaining newer sutras. Okay. So what I try to do is present the mainstream Mahayana text from different perspectives, so that we adding to the knowledge, the English knowledge database. Okay. The unfortunate thing is that it's only in MP3 format. It's not available in text format, because text is very time consuming, right, Janice?
Yes.
It just like takes forever to transcribe it. And sometime down the future, we need to transcribe it, because most people would prefer the text format than MP3. Okay. So, but at least right now, my focus is on explaining sutras, because that's what I do. I don't want to invest time in transcribing and that kind of thing, because that's not what I'm supposed to do. My time should be is better spent on investing on adding to the knowledge base in Mahayana in English. Okay, will be more productive in my time. Okay, because right now, Master YongHua has left a huge, good chunk of the knowledge, and I'm hoping to add more to it. Okay, I'm surprised that his disciples have not, his Hung disciples have not lecturing on these sutras because they contain very important principles. And they're important because when you talk about Vasha Sutra, for example, or the Earth Flow Sutra, or Medicine Master Sutra, everyone recognizes it. Whereas Hong Chu is explained like the Jingguang Sutra, which is Golden Light Sutra right now. It's not as well known. Okay, so he's adding more stuff, but it's not the mainstream text of Mahayana. By the way, you have to let go. It's a passing thing. Don't dwell on it. Okay? It's going to come back. It's called demonic state, by the way.
It's the devil, all right. It's not funny. You guys, I'm telling you.
It's a passing thing. Do not let it distract you. It's just like when you live. You get up in the morning, you go through, you can hear some bad news, and hear some good news. It passes.
Give me some good news.
See, that's the attachment. It's supposed to point out to you. Either way, it's just even keel. Okay, it blows over. Okay, if you don't pay attention, you will get into big trouble. Don't think you just because.
Well, it's got my attention.
Because you're there doesn't mean you won't get in trouble. You get different kinds of trouble, bigger trouble than normal people.
So bad, Master.
But you see that this is important. You have to be open about it, honest about it. Okay. You keep it to yourself. It's your problem, not mine. Okay. So that's why in Mahayana we try to be pretty open about everything. What's there to hide? That's a big deal. I always telling someone when you keep it to yourself, your problem. You throw it out to the assembly. That's the assembly's problem.
It's hard to talk about something we don't know what's happening.
Just reveal it. Just like you did. Okay. Anyway,
Master, is it okay we finish this sutra because I'd like to get to the end since we already started the matter somewhere?
sure, we could finish it. Yeah, it's easier for me. Yeah. I have more time to do the rest of it. Okay, sure. That's one option.
And for me last year, it flew. I had no idea. I got a lot more this year because last year I was just.
Each year we learn more and more.
So apparently, so after this I do the Vasha Sutra. How's that?
Cool.
Is it okay with you, Danny, or?
Oh yeah.
If you've got a lot of time on your hands, we could always add another day.
Well, everybody else will want that.
That is slave driving.
Randy does have Monday and Tuesdays off.
I know you're there now.
Okay, so anyway, so we can do this, we can finish it, and then, but in terms of going to Bolsa, we can go there for another month or so, and then after that we can come back here, because if they're not coming, I'm not going to throw my money away, because this, we're doing just fine here, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So it's
So
no
we're
reason
going
to
to go
go
Bolsa?
there, and you guys get all worked up, and then.
So we're going there in June, in other words.
Huh?
We're going there in June, because next week is the last of May.
Yeah, she go there next week, and then a few more weeks, and see what happens. And because it actually works out better that way, because then it doesn't appear like we get pissed off and walk away from it, because the way they treated us last week. So it works out better. helps them. Or if I spend a few $100 to help them, not get confused, it's worth it. Serious. We'll be patient all these months anyway. Okay, so shall we continue with the Sutra lecture?
Yes.
Okay. So we keep going, right?
Yes.
Okay. Fine. As you wish. We're on slide 53. No one online, right? So who cares? But it's recorded anyway. Karmic hindrances. Okay. You can approach karmic hindrances in different ways. The way that we approach it in this sutra is we point out to you that the good things to you, like somebody requested good things to happen, actually they are karmic hindrances. The good news are actually karmic hindrances. Because they come, the blessings karma, the evil karma and moving karma. Basically, blessings karma is the seeds for you to enjoy blessings in the desire realm. Desire realm is our realm right now, right? And then the evil karma is the evil karma is for cause you to fall. Okay, those are hindrances. And the unmoving karma is for you to be born in the upper two realms of the triple realm. So, in other words, what people consider to be blessings are actually your hindrances. Why is that?
Because you get
You
attached.
take up all your time and attention.
There's no need to cultivate. You're enjoying something.
You're having so much fun.
If you don't have any
It's
problem,
working.
yeah.
You don't change success, folks.
Yeah.
You do not change success.
That's why my daughter got all upset when she heard how much, one of my daughters, when she heard how much I was meditating. She says, Mom, she's in her 50s. She went nuts about it. I didn't say anything, I just left her.
So that's important for you to realize that you should not be attached to good things. You should not be demanding the good things, only good things happen. Okay?
We don't
Because
want
they
to
are
have
hindrances to your cultivation. They detract you from cultivation. They distract you from cultivation.
That's exactly what I do.
Okay. Now, the medicine master Buddha Dharma is supposed to help you eradicate your hindrances and then give you benefit and bliss. So that's why the Dharma is important because it helps eradicate our obstructions, okay, and make us feel good, make good things happen. But in a way that if you execute it right, that does not make you attached. Why is that? Because for some people it's important for them to have good things. They demand that good things happen to them. But for more advanced people, good things happen because they naturally occur as a result of cultivation, not because they seek it. There's a difference. When you seek to get good things to happen to yourself, you're being petty. You're not cultivating. It's when you don't seek good things that happen to you and they happen, that's when the bliss is incredible. Okay? So what kind of bliss are we talking about? Causal bliss, number one. We are on slide 54. Meaning that when you do good, then good things happen to you. You have blessings that you can enjoy. When you do good, when you help others, okay, so that they get the benefit from your action, from your help, then you're creating blessing for you to enjoy those blessings, those type of blessings in the future, manifold. Alright? So that's causal bliss. Feeling bliss. Okay. Now causal bliss is what common people shoot for. They go and they cultivate like text. They cultivate because he wants to have bliss down the road. Right? At least get rid of his obstructions and have more bliss in your life. And that's worldly pursuits. Now, if you go and transcend worldly pursuits, then you go into something called feeling bliss. Okay? Where it's stability, it's maturity, okay, and your mind becomes peaceful and stable. I mean, you have less ups and downs. Okay. The third kind of thing, which is very, very good, is you end the feeling skandha bliss. You see, the feeling bliss is that we all living beings are attached to feeling good, aren't we? We're very attached to it. Okay? If you can detach from that, then you can end the feeling skandha. Okay? And that's when the bliss is incredible. This is the state of what? Of an eye. First stage eye. You can detach. When you can detach, that's when the bliss is out of this world. It's nothing that you experienced before. The bliss from detachment, not from having, but from letting go. Being able to let go, which you could not before. Before you could not let go of that attachment to feeling good, folks. You cannot let go. No matter how you can reason, you can argue. And no matter how many reasons I can give you, I say, it's not that great. We have this, we have that, we have these consequences. But that's all intellectual. Once you can let go of that attachment, that's what bliss is. That's only the Hinayana sages can experience. Okay? Last year I explained it. I didn't go into this kind of details. And number 4 is severance bliss. Okay? Okay. What is severance bliss? That is the state of Mahayana sages. See, this is why the Hinayana arhats, that's what they're missing. The bliss experience from their samadhi power is so incredible. Okay, like they never could experience before, and it gets better. You go from first stage arhat, second stage arhat, third stage arhat, and third stage arhat is very difficult to reach. When you get to fourth stage arhat, even more difficult. But the bliss is incredible. Okay. But all that combined is nothing compared to the severance bliss. Okay? still have afflictions. Okay? Lots of afflictions. More than they can imagine. Okay? So that's why they have to continue to work hard. And also there's a bliss called severance bliss, and finally there's bodhi bliss of the Buddhas. Okay? Any questions?
Severance bliss, is that the stage of a bodhisattva?
And honey, the arhat bliss is nothing.
I love it.
It's no big deal. That's why they're looking at you guys. Why you guys are worked up about what? This is it. And then the arhats look at the mortals and, oh, you guys are so.
You're so bad, Master.
Questions? Okay. Sutra text 55, slide 65. The Buddha then praised the pure youth Manjushri. Good indeed, Manjushri. Out of great compassion, you should now request that I speak about the Buddha's names and merit and virtues of their past vows. For the sake of rescuing sentient beings who are bounded by karmic obstacles, and for bringing benefit, peace, and should be bliss to those who live in the Dharma image age, listen attentively and reflect most diligently, for I will now answer you. Manjushri said, please do speak, we are glad to listen. Love, okay.
It's pretty cool. Can you read it?
Okay, the English text is wrong here. Should be joy here, should be change. I'm on slide 55. Should change joy to bliss, because that's the more accurate term. We're making small changes here and there to better reflect, to make it more accurate. For example, the Chinese text from Master YongHua, for some reason, the nuns or the people who did the Chinese text, they had horrible typos. They made a lot of typos, and they have a lot of missing text as well. Especially in the Earth-Store Sutra, I found so many missing texts. And of course, Danny helped me catch a few typos as well. But for example, this week I caught some missing text, big time. So, and then they have typo. They have quite a few typos in this week's section, like 3 or 4, which is bad, because they should have done a better job. The Chinese Master YongHua, that Chinese disciple, did not do a good job transcribing it. Okay, it's not right. So I'm going to skip the Vietnamese to save time. Okay, there's no Vietnamese here. Maybe we'll do French next time. Okay. We on slide 58. The Sutra mentioned Manjushri as a pure youth. Pure youth in Mahayana, usually between 7 and 15 years of age. They're more yang dominant. Okay? The inner light is still brilliant, and there are few afflictions. The important thing here is that they are not defiled by the environment yet. Okay? They don't discriminate that much yet. See, we go to school, we learn to discriminate and analyze. Okay? That's where it goes downhill for us.
I love you spell 8 with
we're able to make a living, we're able to fit in society, but we're losing our wisdom light. Okay? So cultivation reverses that process. Okay? The thing about pure youth is that basically what does it mean, pure youth? No sex. Why is it? And this is where the unpopular part of the Sutra lectures, or my lectures, or my Dharma talks is that sex is a bad one, very bad one. It kills you. It kills you. Every time you have sex, you're closer to death. That's why these guys, when they go pure youth, I mean, they do not have those types of outflows. Therefore, when they cultivate, they're working hard up here, accruing things, blessings. They're not losing blessings down here in terms of outflows and leakages. Therefore, they get to keep most of everything to cultivate. You know that? That's why the pure youth in Mahayana, they progress very, very quickly. That's why a special guy like Jack Chang says, I'm not going to get married, that kind of thing. That's along the same kind of path. Okay? Sex is one of the biggest outflows you can have. And these guys don't have. And that's why they get to keep everything. Keep most of what they achieve. Okay? Any questions?
There's a small typo, discriminating.
I said he did a letter 8 instead of putting the ATE.
Yeah. Yeah, close enough.
That's sort of fun, though, isn't
I
it?
think it's fun. I agree too.
Yeah. We'll fix it when you like it. Okay, next slide, 59. Sensing beings, replete with the 6 organs. Sensing beings, or living beings, sometimes they call living beings, or sensing beings, are basically people, beings that have feelings, are capable of feelings. Okay? We don't want to hear it, you know, we want to silence you. Yeah.
So say, you know, if a person tries to say keep a pure youth state.
Yes.
But he or she lives in a society with like the ghost gets envy of the person.
Ghost what?
Like the ghost with the like, because if the person keeps the pure youth state, then when the person functions in society, he or she will automatically be different.
Yes. Yeah.
And there will be more things
Temptation.
trying to get the person. Right?
Yes. Yes. You're a target.
Yeah.
You're a big target. for ghosts, also for cougars, for So it's very hard to stay pure youth. Very, very, very hard. You need a lot of help, a lot of protection.
Yeah.
Because the temptation comes in so many forms. Okay? Remember, when you're normal people, we are attached to feeling good. Okay? And sexual intercourse is one of the most powerful way of feeling good. Okay? It's the secret about cultivation. If you can let go of that attachment, you discover something even more worthwhile, much bigger, much more interesting.
You say that's in the Avatamsaka Sutra, that's the biggest obstruction to getting off the wheel, the sexual desire.
That's how we wired.
Like I said, that's the major obstruction. If there was two things like sexual desire, nobody would wake up.
In the Sutra in 42 section, it says that the Buddha explains that sexual desire is the number one obstruction to us attaining sagehood. All right, and if there were another type of attachment comparable to sexual desire, we would never make it.
No one would make it.
No one. Okay, including Buddhists and Bodhisattvas. Is that bad? Is that powerful? Okay.
I believe it.
On the other hand, because you realize, you see, the Buddhist messages is always double-sided. You can choose to listen to that and say, "Oh, you're nuts." Okay, forget it. I like sex. I like sexual desire because that's life. You're crazy for you to reject it. Or you can, that's one option. Or you can say, "Oh, it is that difficult, and why bother cultivate?" Okay, forget it. I'm not going to cultivate because for what? What have you got? Nothing. Nothing to show cultivation, right? How can you sell cultivation? Can you put it in terms of dollar amounts? Houses, cars, fame, groupies?
Much more than that.
But people don't understand it.
It's a hard sell.
Very hard sell. So people say, forget it. I don't cultivate because there's nothing in there for me. I can see that entices me to cultivate. Number 3, you say, aha. The enlightened response is, aha. You have one of those aha moments, okay? And you say, wow. If it is difficult to overcome, what does it mean? It stores a tremendous amount of energy, right? And you can use that to go the wrong way or the right way. I use it to go the right way. That's how I succeed. You got it? See the secret? That's the Buddha's secret message. He says, it's so overwhelmingly powerful of an enemy against your cultivation. Right? And the smart one says, let me use it towards cultivation. Let me funnel that energy into cultivation. And that's why you get all the power. Instead of wasting it. That's Mahayana wisdom. And that's the pure wisdom, by the way. He says, I'm going to waste it. I'm going to funnel all this energy instead of wasting it through sexual intercourse, sexual pleasures. I'm going to plug the hole and use it for cultivation. That's how I progress quicker. Questions, comments? So sentient beings, going back to slide number 59, sentient beings are replete with 6 organs, and the 6 organs are the 6 emotional roots because they constantly are activated and cannot be restrained. They are constantly activated. Our sense organs are constantly activated and cannot be restrained because we indulge ourselves. We reserve the right to indulge ourselves. So we allow ourselves to be constantly agitated. We relinquishing control, self-control. Okay? In terms of more specifically, the emotional roots or the 6 organs are connected with something called consciousness. Okay? Basically, you have your sense organs. That's how we made. That's what we endowed with. And also, internally we have those sense organs. Externally we have externals, like the sound, like the smell, okay, like fragrance, like form you can see, okay, like food you can taste, okay. Those are called dust or external objects. It's called dust because they defile our sense organs. You know that Buddhism is very, very, very ingenious. They call dust because they make us filthy, make our sense organs filthy. So between the externals and the sense organs is something called consciousness. There's a bridge that connects the dust, that enables the dust to defile our sense organs. Okay, so that thing is called consciousness. And basically we have 8 different types of consciousness. The first 5, okay, you need to understand these basic concepts about these basic technical jargons. The first 5 consciousnesses are the seeing consciousness of your sense organs. The eyes can see, so it's called eye consciousness. Okay, your ears can hear, meaning the hearing consciousness. Okay, the ear consciousness. Your nose can smell. Okay, so is the smell consciousness, right? And then your tongue can taste. So it's a tongue consciousness, a taste consciousness. And then your body can touch. Okay, so it's a touching consciousness. That's what you are aware of through your sense organs. Okay, without these consciousnesses, you have no bridge between, you have no contact with the external world. So far, so good. So all the five sense organs create the first 5 consciousness, and then the 6th sense organ, which is the mind, creates the 5th one, the 6th one, called the 6th consciousness, which is the mind. The mind attaches to dharmas or externals. Dharmas are everything out there. Okay? Dharma, by definition, is anything that the mind thinks of is called a dharma. So far, so good. So the mind is the one. Is more commonly is known as the 6th consciousness. Is a guy who does the mental processing. So far, so good. The first 5 consciousnesses are basically are in charge of, responsible for data gathering. The smell consciousness, all it does is it says, wait a minute, it smells like, let me check my database, oh, it smells like incense. Okay? So it's responsible for that. It's responsible for recognizing, for linking the nose with the external and bridge that gap. Okay? So it can recognize smells. Okay? But it is the mind that does the association. Okay? So the mind does the recognition. It says, okay, I know there's some kind of smell here, but let me see. Ah, it's incense. So it's the function of the sixth consciousness. So far, so good. So the first five consciousnesses are basically stupid. They're basically data mining. And then the sixth consciousness is the guy that collates them and makes sense out of them and does the recognition. It's also the guy who does the discrimination. So far, so good. It's very important for you to understand this consciousness, because that's how we operate. This is our operating system. This is our Windows. This is our Mac OS. So far, so good. The seventh one, the seventh consciousness is called mana consciousness, or more commonly called as the defiled consciousness, or the self, the ego. Now, he is a bad dude. She is a bad dude. That. Okay. That's what the trouble is. That's what all the trouble is. Because beyond the seventh consciousness is something called the eighth consciousness. We talked about it briefly this morning. That is the store of consciousness. That is like our hard drive. It has everything. Everything that we ever did in the past is stored right there. You never lose anything. The hard drive never crashes. Never ever crashes. Never runs out of capacity. This is the coolest human technology that you can conceive of in terms of hard drive designs. Okay? SSD. Beyond SSD. Beyond SSD. Okay?
Self-sustained.
Human technology comes nowhere close. Okay? So,
how do you like that?
The eighth consciousness is a guy that's unended, infinite. It stores everything that ever happened, that goes throughout. All the karmas you create are stored in the eighth consciousness. That's why it's called the store of consciousness. Okay? Very important for you to understand these eighth consciousnesses, the eight different consciousnesses, because they're fundamental block of knowledge. Okay, so far you have the first six, the eighth, then the seventh. The first five actually go through number six. Okay, got that? The first five needs to go through six to do processing, to do recognition. Then six then works with number 8 through 7. So far so good? Because if number 6, the conscious mind says, let me see, is that like incense, or is that Chanel number 5, or is that poison, or is that, it has to do what? Do a search, right? It has to go and retrieve information from storage, which is the 8th consciousness. So far so good? That's when the 6th consciousness does a retrieve. They say, search. Let's search a hard drive. Okay, let's search our memory banks. So far so good? So it does an access of the 8th consciousness. And then, who does the processing? Number 7 is the guy, he is the intermediary. He says, okay, fine, 6, you do your processing. 8 has the storage. But number 7 is the guy who does the bus, the wiring. So far so good? That's how we function. Only trouble is that number 7 is more than simply the bus. It also distorts. It massages it. This is why we call ego. Ego says, I don't like this. I prefer the other one. I like the good ones. I don't like the bad ones. That's the seventh culture.
Discriminating mind.
No, it defiles it. Basically, it is an unpleasant experience, or it is a pleasant experience. But the seventh says, I don't like it.
It's not going anywhere.
Okay?
It's
I don't like it.
It's modifying it.
It distorted.
Right.
It says, basically like it hurts. The legs hurt so much. Okay.
Yeah.
But then the sixth says, wait a minute, am I getting hurt? Am I going to break my leg here? So it goes to the eighth consciousness. It says, let me try to retrieve some data, right? Right? You see, let me check my hard drive, my memory bank, and see that I am in any kind of trouble, right? Because that's why I accrue all these data for. I can use in the future. So we access it, to bring it back. And what does the seven do? The seven said, you know, this data is not accurate. I think I forgot one bit here. So basically, it distorts the data as being retrieved. It adds more and then massages things that there's no way the six knows. Only seven does it automatically. Okay, give you an example. Okay, real time now. Yes.
Is that how those psychic readers, they read off the information, but sometimes it's inaccurate because they're egos?
Okay, let me postpone that a little moment. Okay. I'll give you an example to illustrate to you why seventh consciousness is a big troublemaker. Because, for example, same guy. Okay, you look at a person. Okay, and basically, it's the same person. It's the seventh that says, I prefer it coming from text. I'd rather not it come from Shorty. That's seven. Same exact information. Okay. Say you come and offer me a piece of stick of incense. I said, I don't like her. Let this guy does better. It's the same stick of incense, same kind of offering incense. Okay. It distorts things. It adds judgment. It adds value to it. It places tasks on top of the actual facts. For example, I keep on hearing a guy says, this woman says, you've been telling us about how these monks and nuns behave, and really destroys my image of my ideals of a left home person. What is that? 714. So you're passing tasks, you're passing judgment, you're adding data on top of the facts.
So
That's what judgment is. Then.
Yes.
Right. That's a very important point.
Yes.
The people are always talking about
Because
judgment.
that's the ego.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Passing judgment.
Right.
So the appeal youth, how is that? It's seven conscience. Is that really developed, or is that still?
It is developed, but it's not as proficient. It's not as good as Danny's, for example. Danny 7 is so advanced that it doesn't take, because the 7 it gets more adept with use. It gets devious. The more data, the more you use it, the better it becomes. The more imperceptible it becomes. The more difficult it is for you to pin it down.
Mm-hmm.
And how did we develop it? Because with the life experience, with the stuff that we developed, the 7.
Because we value. Because we value judgment.
And it's hindering us. And it's hindering us.
It's confusion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's confusion.
And
No
that's
such
what,
thing as good judgment, right?
Yes.
You have good judgment or bad judgment.
If it does not distort, the facts,
Then that's good judgment.
that's good judgment.
Right.
It's just that when we distort it on the fly so fast, it's as if we take it as facts.
Yeah.
and that's so easy to do.
We constantly do that. In everything.
So we increase the seven by using more often.
Yeah.
But so we are born.
Good question.
We are born with the seventh.
Yeah. So how do you, what you're getting at is how do we counteract it?
Right.
How do you do that?
Cross the legs, try to control it. Put it down.
Samadhi power, yes. What else? You stop using the six.
That's hard.
Start using the six.
When you've been doing
Start with
this
the
for a long
six.
time.
Stop your mind.
Because that's right.
Okay.
It's the guy who said, let me access it. That's why the seven is activated.
Okay.
Yeah.
You see that?
If you don't use the six, the seven is.
If you stop discriminating, you say, you stop constantly discriminating between good and bad, good and evil, desirable, undesirable, great, small, okay? Because that's what, when you do that, you actually do access, you do retrieval. And that's what seventh gets going.
And you go back to your bad habits.
Okay? So actually you're activating those seeds. So if you stop the six, you minimize the six functioning, okay? Then the seventh has no fuel, has no cause to be activated.
And the point of doing that is what? To get to the eighth or to get to the
Clarity of mind.
Okay.
You get in touch with the truth,
Okay.
not confusion.
So it's clarity is almost like accessing the eight without the filtering.
Without the filter, without the distortion. Because the data is true by itself. You don't need to distort it. It's the seven that keeps on distorting and adding tags, adding judgment, subtracting and massaging it. So when the time gets back to the six, what we get, the data, is no longer accurate. And we don't know. We can't tell. Right? We cannot tell whether it comes from true from the eighth, undistorted, or the seventh already distorted it. We don't know. Because the seven is that good.
So where the wisdom comes in.
Wisdom comes in the fact that six no longer functions, therefore seven dies. Seven stops.
That's
The ego stops and dies.
And the knowledge, the data you get is true. And you don't need the six to get data. You see, we are confused in thinking that we need to depend on our conscious mind, our thinking mind. We don't. There's something called better than the sixth mind. What is it called? Who knows? You all know that. You all know it already.
I know what it is.
What? What is better than the sixth? The Buddha nature.
Okay.
which is the eighth, right?
No, eighth is confusion.
Right.
Eighth
Eighth is confusion.
When you turn eighth into the great mirror wisdom, okay, it becomes wisdom when you go to it. Basically, your Buddha nature knows already. Okay? It's just that it doesn't have a chance. It's the 6 and the 7 that keeps on distorting everything. It's one layer on top of whatever you know already, and the 6 seizes it and intercepts it and says, hey, I got it, trust me. I know what I'm doing. And you believe it. That's how we function.
So the knowledge is that in the 6 or is that in the 7? 6.
Nine is recognition. Confirmation. Okay? But ultimately, the eighth consciousness is the basis of all the others. Yes.
So if you stop the 6, does the pain go away?
You stop the 6, does it go away? Yes. Yes.
Because we are cutting the sensorial that goes in.
Yeah. We're shutting it out.
It goes in, but it doesn't mean the 6 is not acting on it, so we don't feel it.
Well, on the other hand, look at it this way. Okay. If I were, let's say, to teach you how to shut it off, okay, what am I teaching you?
The easy way out.
The easy way out. What is the easy way out?
Avoiding.
Avoidance.
Avoidance. Right. I'm teaching you to be with it. I know you don't mind being a whip in this case. So why does it have to be so hard, huh, Master? Why do you ask so much of us? Because you're paying back the debts. You're zapping it. Okay? And it serves dual purpose of you do it long enough, it will no longer bother you. That's wisdom. Because why? Because itself is false. In Mahayana, when we call false is something that has no self-nature, meaning that it depends on conditions for its existence. Without conditions, it does not exist. Meaning, what conditions? Your body. Because you are feeling pain, you're rejecting it because you are very attached to your body. Therefore, it's true for you. If you say, what body? It's gone.
Well, that's it. It's gone. I don't know about that. Well, the body.
Because you did not do what I just said. When you say, what body, you don't believe it. You only repeated my words, but you do not believe in my words. That's why it's still there.
That's interesting.
Janice, you believe me? It's gone right away. See? Doesn't believe me.
Master, I'm telling you. Oh, this thing is
Rest
something
my
else.
case. Yes.
This is
Because
something else
sometimes
today,
it's
man.
like there's a force that prevents you from believing.
Because you don't believe yet. Because you said, what you say, you may know what you're talking about. I give you that. But I have a hard time believing that. It's two different things. You may know about it, but I don't believe it. Not because you say it, because deep down, you don't believe it.
I mean,
See,
this
that's
is
a real
Freud.
test, my dear.
This is
If
Freud.
you really believe me,
This is Freud.
then it goes away. Right?
You know?
You don't believe me,
Ego, you know?
no matter what you tell me, it's still there.
So Master, didn't you say the pain is always there? It's up to your mind to judge, to understand if to believe is that a pain or not to be a pain. It's up for you man to interpret.
For me, I figure out a way to opt out of the pain, but I don't use it. Long time ago. Oh, way before you. I was much lower than any of you. Okay? And I figured out a way to turn it on, turn it off. I never use it. Why? Because I'm stupid. But see, that's the real test, Janice. This is why you can't fake it. If you really believe it goes away.
I do believe
I mean, I'd like to really believe it, but I can't.
She really believes it, but the ladies don't believe it.
I believe it, but they don't behave. They don't behave.
I believe all you're saying, but my definition.
Why am I doing this?
They're like kids, you know. They don't.
Because eventually you understand what I mean. Right now, it's too real for you. It's just like, this is blood. Come on, this is real. Okay? You don't believe it, but eventually someday you will see what I mean. It's not real. What is not real is meant by the fact that does not exist by itself.
In other words, it's all created by ourselves.
Something else underneath it that creates it.
We're creating it all. I believe that.
Okay?
But it's more than believing it. It actually has to. We have to experience it and know it, and then that's the real belief. We have to transcend our words.
Yes.
It's the same thing. What we're talking about, same exact thing. If you believe it, you're there. The closer you are to it, the more belief you need to have. That's the good side. See? It's not talking. It's doing it and then keep on thinking about it. Doing it, eventually. It's that's it. It's not something you can intellectually reason. You want to deduce something you have to do. Okay? So far so good? Any questions? Okay. Yes.
Now, so if your life starts flashing before your eyes,
Yes.
and the case where you're about to die,
Yes.
which has happened to me a couple of times. I didn't die, but I was about to.
Yes.
My life flashed before my eyes.
Yes.
So that's like accessing the eighth consciousness. Right.
It's totally. It's just like it flashes so fast.
Oh, yeah.
It's like seeing a movie that a 2-hour movie in like 10 seconds, right?
Yeah, just very quick, but not that fast. But it was fast enough.
But that's how fast your mind is.
Yeah.
That's how fast your sixth consciousness is.
Yeah.
That's what you're capable of doing. That's real test. It's not imagination.
Right.
That's how fast we are. You see why I told you earlier this morning that I could do this mantra very fast, even faster than I can move my fingers, because our mind is that fast.
That's true. That is.
I say that, but you don't believe me, do you? That's my case. Yes. So, anyway, retrieval. I give you an anecdote. I hopefully will like a side skirt issue a little about your question, but basically, there are those people who can do palm readers or those externalists who are some spiritual powers. Okay, they can know by your past and so on. Basically, they're able to access the eighth consciousness. There's a ghost. Some of them use ghosts that can access your eighth consciousness, and they tell. Really, that's what they did.
Not spirits, but ghosts.
Those spirits. Spirits are the good guys. Ghosts are the bad guys. Same thing. Same difference.
I think the spirits might be most wrong.
You see, let's talk about the real stuff, the real life stuff, like the leg pains. Okay? If I tell you the illustrative fact about knowledge versus faith. Okay? If I tell you right now that the leg pains is not true, you don't believe me. But I know you don't believe me because it still hurts like crazy. So what do? If you really don't believe me, you stop. You uncross your legs. Right? But if you had believed me a little bit, what do? You cross a little bit longer. Right?
In a little
And
bit.
then you cross a little bit longer the next day. And then a little longer the next day. Guess what happens? Eventually, you overcome it, right?
I hope so.
It might take a few decades, but
Yeah, I was going to say not a day or two.
and then what? And then you begin to see, wait a minute, it's real.
And your perspective starts to change. It
You
improves.
begin,
You're more clear.
you begin to clear your head, and all things happen. That's when faith becomes strong.
And 6 and 7 is not as strong.
That's right. Then you believe. You begin to say, maybe it does have. Maybe it does have some credibility here. But you have to do it. You cannot talk about it. But you cannot do it all at once. You have to do it one bit at a time. This is how I approach it. Master YongHua never explained it in that way. He said, he's just bad. Come on, don't be a wimp.
That's what I told him.
I know you guys are wimps. Therefore I said, please bear for a few more seconds. A few more minutes each time. That's all you need. You can train yourself. That's how I train myself. Okay?
I know you're gonna jump on me again.
What did you say, Mom?
It's no fun.
I know.
You fix it, Mom. Just ask the question in French.
Okay. No, he still understands
And
French.
then when you give you the answer, then you cannot be embarrassed. Nobody else will understand.
So by crossing the leg and deal with the pain, it's also one way to kind of decrease your sixth consciousness, kind of, I don't know, is it controlling, but by reading.
He says, this is not desirable. Oh my God. I don't want this.
So dealing with the pain really is dealing with your 6 and 7.
The 6 says, you were doing just fine 5 minutes ago. Now all of a sudden it hurts so much. I don't want this. 7 jumps in, I don't want this. Are you sure you want this? And the 6 says, I'm not sure, let me check 8. And the 7, you see, it brings back and gives me more distortions. You see how stupid you are? On the Zeno. Right? It keeps on snowballing.
On the wheel.
And it starts with number 6 says, I was fine a while ago. Now it's not fine anymore. You see how it works? Okay. Is it gentle enough? Okay, any other questions? So basically those the externals, they do have some skills, and basically it's not necessarily from their own, but usually the ghosts, they have those spiritual skills. And ghosts and spirits, they actually come in you and possess you, and then access your hard drive, just like the hackers, and then you pull it out. And then they impress you. They give you bits and pieces of what they can find. That's it. And they know what they're talking about. You do not discount them. Don't want to discount them or think of them as baloney. Then they do have skills.
Oh, so that's why, because those ghosts, sometimes when you go into some, you don't feel comfortable depending on the reader. Sometimes you go in, you feel weird.
They're icky. Because they deal with the bad ghosts. They're not fun to deal with. Okay? Anyone else?
I would like to just say that I think the more you bear it, is think of a way as you're training your body to resist, more tolerant to pain. The longer you sit, you will be more adapt. So the next pain or the previous pain will become not as much as what you think it is.
That is the way to control the 6, right?
Yeah, I think it's more of a training. You just keep sitting, and to a point, the pain you're feeling and the pain before, you will start to minimize the first pain you ever felt is so painful, and then moving on, you say, hey, it's not as painful as before, so you can sit a little bit longer. And then you compare again, hey, it's not as much, and you sit a little bit even longer.
If you do that, then you have a chance to understand the teaching. That's only the first step. The second step, you have to listen to the lecture, listen to my explanations, so that you're able to let go of your prejudices. You see, you have that. That's where it's important. That's why the lectures are very important. This is what the Kung Fu people don't have. The martial artists don't have. The Tai Chi people, the Qigong people don't have. Okay? They develop the samadhi power, but they don't have the understanding. So it's imbalance of our approach in cultivation. Okay, any other questions? Yes, it's correct.
My friend, before she left, she asked me, so what's cultivation?
Cultivation?
Yeah.
We just have nothing else to do.
Oh no, I think that's a topic that's hard to explain. If you don't really experience it, it's hard to explain what is cultivation.
It's a whole lifestyle. I mean, you cannot explain it.
But Jimmy, what else are you gonna do? What else is more important?
But you know what?
You think I'm being facetious? No, I'm not. I'm giving you my personal opinion. Nothing else better to do.
Master, with lay people that haven't really gotten into it, if you just tell them that you feel better, you feel more relaxed, you feel it's just a better. And people will do it for just to do that because some people are so.
Not always.
Well,
Not always.
they won't do it anyway. But if they want to do something,
because they need to see the N word. You can't reason. You have to see it. Yeah. You have no need. You can't pray because it's way too demanding. In other words, let me put it this way. Depending on your need, I can teach you method of cultivation to help you get to that need. Okay? And you can stop. There's nothing wrong with that. That's why, in other words, Mahayana is very important to determine your need level. Because at all levels, we have different types of different dharmas to teach you. You want to be the gods, I teach you the dharma to be the gods. You want to be an arhat, I teach you, I have a dharma to teach you to be an arhat. You worry about your health, you have dharma to help you deal with your health concerns. Okay? So all your needs, we have answers, we have solutions. It's up to you to decide what to do. No one's going to force it down your throat. Okay? But when you ask me, why do I cultivate? I say, I have nothing else better to do. I don't see anything else that turns me on as much as cultivation. That includes cars, that includes house, it includes women, it includes boys, it includes men, it includes women. Not that I'm not, not that I'm don't think they're important. I'm just saying they're not as important. That's all I'm saying. I'm not refuting your existence. I'm not minimizing the significance of your existence. I'm just saying personally, I went through that half of my life, and I said, nothing to get excited about. This is more fun. When you get to be older, okay, I mean, some of you might reach a stage, it's pretty soon. You look for meaning in life. You look for, why did I come here? What am I here for? What am I leaving behind? Okay? Has it been worth it? Okay? Some point in time you have to face that. I faced that And I said, no, my life wasn't worth it. I was ashamed of my own life, my own existence, my own selfish and self-serving existence. So I tried something else, like this lifestyle, thinking, just like you, I had my personal agenda. I only wanted to learn about Chan. Never mind about enlightenment. Forget it, okay? Enlightenment, yeah, right. Well, I only wanted to learn about meditation. That's all I wanted. Okay. So I had my personal agenda, and I learned. And the closer I get, the more I find it. It's so much more behind it. I got more curious and more curious every day. It hasn't stopped. Because just like you, I need to justify my existence. Is it worth it? Is it worth my time? Is it worth my blood? Is it worth my sweat? Is it worth it? And I find nothing else more interesting to do than this. I'm not sure you can give the answer to your friend, but because she asked me the wrong question. She probably meant why should she cultivate? It's a different question altogether. But when you say why do you cultivate? I said, you have nothing else better to do.
She asked for the definition.
What is cultivation?
For whom? I gave it from my perspective. You have to understand when you ask a loose question like that, okay, I have the option because I'm not trying to sell her anything. Because if you say, what is cultivation? I say, you should cultivate because so what am I doing? I'm forcing it down her throat. Why should I? You cultivate because you want to, not because I want you to. You cultivate because you get a lot more out of it for yourself. Okay? The intellectual answer is get to the truth. The truth. And it's not what you think it is. That truth is not what you think it is. You can be doing research until you die. For many more lifetimes, you will not get to it. It's not the way it is. You think it should be. Think it is. Okay, so how long can you sit?
Not for
Half lotus. Come on, you can do half lotus. Don't be such a wimp.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
What do you mean? Half lotus, half lotus. Is there another half lotus?
Like this? Yeah. I can't sit like this very long at all.
Who cares? See, it's the sixth going again. I was fine until you asked me to sit in half lotus. Rings the bell?
Yeah.
But I still like my 6 now.
Yeah, but that's what you're supposed to do. That's how you get the most out of it. Sit there and then until you can't take it anymore. You better a bit longer. That's why it's important for you to get a timer. Because you can't trust that 7. You say, oh, it went to half an hour already. Right? So you get the timer.
Yeah, 10 o'clock.
Rules off and then you know. So you don't think about it. Even if you think about it, you ignore it.
Right.
That's why you the third party, impartial and truthful like a tiger. Okay, any other question? Yes? No? That's it?
Okay, I'll ask.
Okay, you ask the question. Thank you.
So we're going to the next slide.
Okay. Yeah, question. Fire away.
It seems like there are more issues with my parents nowadays. So is that related to, say, I'm being cultivating, or it's just part of it?
What issues? Can you be specific? What kind of problems are they experiencing?
Okay. So, for example, my mom, like, now, like, I think she says she might have, like, a bone spur on her back or something.
Yeah.
So sometimes it hurts that she couldn't move that well.
Right.
Yeah.
So-
And for, yeah.
Okay.
And, my dad is continuing his trading lifestyle.
Yeah, losing his shirt.
So,
Okay, so it's not working out, right?
no, not working out. Yeah, so it's just
And then your sister is gone now. No, sister is gone.
Yeah, and the sister is gone too.
So no one to turn to just because you were aloof most of the time, right?
Yeah,
You have your own world. So
People who know this. Now you know.
so what's the problem? It's just that's normal for them.
Yeah, but then I see this kind of lifestyle. It just keep going on like this. Eventually, it's gonna fall apart and stuff.
Okay.
Increase my
They have to get worse before they have to face it. You see that? Because they're not going to change. They're not going to change until they must. I don't know if it makes sense to you or not. In Taoism, they're saying that things that have to go to the extremes, the pendulum has to go to the extreme until it changes direction. Before that, it will not change direction. So if you try to stop the momentum, you can't. You know the word. Okay? They're committed to all those things that they feel are important. Until something happens that forces them to change the course, they will not make a change. So, for example, you have children, and you say, "Oh, let me shield my children from all the bad things that happen." You know, they never will. They never change. They never adjust. So all you do as parents is that you are there for them, and then you watch it happen, and you make sure you're around to give advices. Look, that's all you can do. You cannot change the course.
Right.
They have to do what they must do first before they listen.
As adults.
That's what happened to us last weekend. We finally say, well, you will do whatever you want to do. We're not gonna be whatever. So he did. He has been saying that he wants to go to the medic. The marine medic. So fine. It's up to you now.
Now he switched to medic now.
Yeah. So at least it's a step down.
He's not a recon anymore. But he still wants to do medic in Iraq.
in the medic, but because the Marine doesn't have the medic, so he has to join the Navy medic and then get assigned to a Marine unit.
It's all right.
I think in the Navy they call it corpsman. You have to be a corpsman first.
Right.
Medic is an army, so you have to be a corpsman in the Navy.
Right.
So
But it's a medic for Marines. So I mean,
So he will be sent to Iraq anyway. Bottom line.
or Afghanistan. I mean,
Afghanistan. Because that's what he has to do.
yeah, and here it's been so last Sunday we say okay. I mean,
So
it was
when is he leaving?
well now then he's going. He's using us, but he has not do anything. So now he has to talk to the recruiter. He has no plan either. So when we ask what you gonna do now to join, well, I don't know yet. So it's exactly like okay, fine, do it. Then that's when it starts him going and think about it, and maybe he changed his mind. I don't know. But he has to go. He's using us to not to do
sounding
anything,
board,
and not to do anything. So,
Yes. You see, the thing is that sometimes being supportive means it's very hard because you need to sit there and watch. Okay, it's very hard to sit there and watch them hurt themselves, get into trouble. But you have to allow them to happen before they learn, before they adjust. Okay? That's wisdom right there, folks. Because when you do that, you're giving you a chance to help them down the road. Not that. Now they're not willing to listen. So if you talk right now and you're trying to talk them out of it, they simply are saying,
What does he understand?
it's just increasing.
They will shut you out in the future.
Just increasing him.
But see, you also feel better because you let go. You know,
I mean,
you did what you could, and you said, you know, whatever's going to happen, it's going to happen, and then you just try to do your best. Before you try to control it, it's really suffering.
Yeah.
It's big suffering. It's big. You just
All we can do is help them the best way we can, give it our best, and then we drop it. Have I done my best? Have I done everything I could have done? If you've done that, that's it. That's all you can do. Because they have to go through the resolutions.
Without this, this assembly and your talk last weekend, on Sunday about do the best we can, and then also you talk about the blessing that it's just right moment. So when he talked to my wife on Sunday, she let it go.
That's all. I mean, the good and the bad, they all have flip sides. Okay. So the point here is that we have to be content with that. We gave it our best, our all. Okay. We tried our best. Whatever happens is not because we did not try. Whatever happened is what they have to go through to learn. Okay.
It's out of your control.
Yeah, it's out of anyone's control.